Picture this. You've got a structure sitting at the bottom of the Mediterranean Sea. Salt water has been violently clawing at it day in and day out for 2,000 years. Now, by every single known rule of modern engineering, it should be nothing more than an unrecognizable pile of rubble scattered across the seafloor. But it isn't. In fact, it's actually stronger today than the exact moment it was poured.
Just look at this contrast. You have this ancient, invincible Roman harbor wall practically defying the ocean itself, and then compare it to a highway overpass built in 1975 using the most advanced steel-reinforced concrete of its era. It's crumbling. It's literally shedding dangerous chunks of rock onto the cars below, and it is actively scheduled for demolition. This stark contrast perfectly captures the central scandal of modern construction. We've somehow completely forgotten how to build things that last. For centuries, the smartest minds on Earth thought the ancient Romans just got incredibly lucky with some primitive dirt, but we were dead wrong. It turns out they actually possessed a mind-blowing, self-healing technology.
So, to really understand this lost ancient superpower, we first need to quickly break down what concrete actually is. Most of us just picture it as this liquid rock that eventually dries, right? But in reality, it's a highly specific composite made of two main ingredients. First up, you have the aggregate. That's your pebbles and your sand. Think of the aggregate as the muscle of the operation. It does all the heavy lifting to resist massive amounts of weight. But the truly clever part? That's the cement paste. That is the chemical glue holding all of that muscle together.
See, when you mix that dry cement powder with water, it kicks off a rapid chemical reaction called hydration. The cement grains start growing these microscopic interlocking crystal fingers that aggressively grab on to every single piece of aggregate. Imagine taking a massive pile of sugar, dumping it into a glass of hot water, and just watching it slowly crystallize into solid rock candy that permanently fuses to everything it touches. That's hydration. It's not just drawing out, it is chemically transforming.
Now, the ancient Romans had their own legendary version of this. They called it opus caementitium, and it relied on a highly specific geographic recipe. They mixed lime, seawater, and their absolute secret weapon, a volcanic ash known as pozzolana. When seawater seeps into this ancient Roman concrete, it doesn't wash it away, it doesn't destroy it. It actually reacts with that volcanic ash and the lime to grow these flat, plate-like crystals called tubermorite and phillipsite. So over the centuries, the concrete literally knits itself together, turning into a single, much denser piece of natural rock.
Section 1. The false assumption and the twist.
For an entire century, modern engineers simply assumed that the volcanic ash was the whole secret. They figured it was just a lucky geographic ingredient we could try to mimic in labs. But in 2023, a team of researchers from MIT, Harvard, and a few labs in Europe completely flipped 100 years of those exact assumptions right on their head. They started looking much closer at these tiny white specks scattered all throughout ancient Roman concrete. These are called lime clasts. Now, almost every single modern engineering textbook claimed these white chunks were just definitive proof of ancient incompetence. They assumed the Romans mixed their concrete badly, leaving behind unreacted lumps of lime. Think of it like biting into a freshly cooked pancake and hitting a dry, powdery clump of unmixed flour, just because the chef was too lazy to stir the batter properly.
But the MIT lead researcher, Admir Mosik, asked a brilliantly simple yet totally profound question. Why on earth would a civilization capable of engineering the unreinforced dome of the Pantheon, which, by the way, still stands as the absolutely largest of its kind in the entire world after 2 millennia, why would they be totally careless and sloppy with their most basic, fundamental ingredient? It made absolutely zero sense.
Well, using high-resolution electron microscopes, the MIT team discovered a mind-blowing twist. The Romans weren't using cold slake lime with gentle mixing. No, they were hot mixing raw, highly reactive quicklime directly into the wet ash. And this triggers a violent, scorching, explosive chemical reaction. It is literally the difference between gently stirring some baking soda into a glass of water versus dropping it into a roaring, erupting volcano of vinegar.
Section 2. Microscopic first aid kits.
That extreme heat wasn't a dangerous side effect, and it definitely wasn't an accident. It was an intentional, absolute genius feature of their design. The explosive heat of hot mixing embedded these brittle, calcium-rich pockets entirely throughout the stone structure. Let's deliberately slow down right here because this is the ghost in the machine. Those lime clasts? They weren't mistakes. They were microscopic, embedded first aid kits just waiting silently inside the walls for an emergency. So, step 1, as the concrete ages and naturally shifts, a microcrack forms.
Cracks naturally follow the path of least resistance, which drives them straight into those brittle lime clasts. Step 2. Rainwater inevitably enters the newly formed crack. But instead of destroying the concrete, the water hits the clast and instantly dissolves that highly concentrated calcium. And finally, step 3, that calcium-rich water flows along the length of the crack, reacts, and recrystallizes into fresh calcium carbonate. The crack literally sews itself shut with brand new stone. The Romans took water, which is concrete's absolute greatest enemy, and turned it into the exact medicine that cures it. Now compare that ancient self-healing marvel to our modern engineering nightmare. Modern concrete is completely brittle. The exact second it finishes curing, it is finished growing forever. And what's worse, we hide steel reinforcing bars inside it to help it stretch and bend, so we can build those incredibly tall towers. But when water gets through the unhealable microcracks of our modern concrete, it inevitably reaches that hidden steel. The steel rusts, and rust physically expands to several times its original volume. It acts like a hydraulic crowbar embedded deep inside the structure, violently cracking it apart from the inside out. In the industry, we literally call this concrete cancer. And the consequences of this modern flaw are horrific. They are very real. The devastating 2021 collapse of the Champlain Towers in Surfside, Florida, serves as a grim reminder of this. 98 people tragically lost their lives, as that massive building was quite literally eaten alive from the inside out by hidden corrosion. Structures that we proudly designed to last a century are brutally failing in just 40 years.
Section 3, the stakes and living concrete. Because you see, the stakes go far beyond just structural safety. There is a massive, hidden environmental cost to our modern strategy of constantly rebuilding this decaying world.
8%. I really want you to pause and just truly think about the gravity of that number. To make ordinary Portland cement, which is the modern standard, we have to bake limestone at a scorching 1400 degrees Celsius. That burns massive amounts of fossil fuels and chemically forces the rock itself to release trapped carbon dioxide. The result is genuinely staggering. Cement production alone accounts for a full 8% of all global carbon dioxide emissions.
To put that massive figure into perspective for you, that 8% easily eclipses the emissions of the entire global aviation industry combined. Every single time we have to demolish and repour a crumbling highway decades ahead of schedule, we pay that catastrophic climate tax all over again. If we could develop a self-healing concrete that just doubles a structure's lifespan, it wouldn't just save billions in repairs, it would instantly become one of the most powerful climate tools humanity has ever discovered.
Because of this, modern science is now desperately chasing self-healing concrete. And honestly, some of the ideas are straight out of a science fiction movie. A Dutch microbiologist named Hendrik Jonkers has actually developed a bioconcrete. They embed dormant bacillus bacteria in capsules of calcium lactate, which is basically just bacterial food, directly into the wet concrete mix. They sit there completely asleep like seeds in a desert. When a crack forms and water enters, the bacteria wake up, they eat the food, and they excrete calcium carbonate. They essentially poop the crack closed. It is a literal living repair crew inside the wall. Meanwhile, other researchers are trying out microscopic polymer capsules that burst open like artificial blood platelets to glue cracks shut.
But here is the magnificent Roman advantage, and exactly why modern startups are currently in an absolute sprint to commercialize it. The ancient Roman method doesn't require expensive biotechnology labs. It doesn't need genetically cultured bacteria or exotic, expensive polymers. It is brutally simple, incredibly cheap, and it was hiding in plain sight the entire time. It literally just requires changing the way we mix two ancient ingredients, quicklime and volcanic ash, using that violent hot mixing technique.
Ultimately, this isn't just an explainer about chemistry or engineering. It's a profound lesson in human humility. For over a century, our most credentialed, highly educated experts looked at those tiny white specks and saw only the lazy mistakes of a quote-unquote primitive people. We never stopped to imagine that the perceived flaw was actually the most sophisticated, brilliant part of the entire design. We engineer for the warranty period. The Romans engineered for time itself, building structures meant to outlast their grandchildren, their cities, and their entire empire. It really makes you wonder, as our modern coastlines rise and our infrastructure crumbles around us, what other world-saving secrets are still sitting out there in the ruins, just waiting for us to stop calling them broken?